Good day to you all, thanks for stopping by. Today's video we're going to look at my day touring kit, and I'll tell you how I decided on it and how it's performing. Before that I just wanted to say a few words because I've been quite staggered by the success of this channel. It didn't actually start out as an intentional channel, I just wanted to do a review of the Ribble CGR ALE. But I've had so many very positive and encouraging comments from you all, and the subscribers keep climbing every day, so I really appreciate that, and it's encouraged me to make more videos. Clearly if you don't like what I'm doing, then don't encourage me anymore. As you can probably see, I'm still in France, either that or I'm riding on the wrong side of the road, and behind me is the beautiful lake of the Chateau de Dampierre. It's been really wet here lately, so not been doing much riding and not been doing much of anything else either. I'm not really built for speed, but I enjoy riding long distances, and really I like to be self-contained because, especially riding here in France, it's sometimes difficult to find a shop open where you want one, and they're few and far between where we are in rural France. So for this reason I wanted something to carry supplies in. I tried rucksacks and various other methods, but didn't really work for me. So this is why I decided to go for the day touring kit. Plus I want to get into Audax riding next season, and that certainly means I'll need to have self-containment, although in the UK we do have plenty of co-ops, which I think are the favoured Audax shopping places. My longest ride to date has been 150 miles, and I was self-contained on that one, had everything I needed. That's apart from the fish and chips that we bought in Spalding, but that's another story. So without further ado, I'll get on with my review. As my camping days are long behind me, I didn't need space to carry a tent or cooking equipment. I just needed something that would allow me to carry, say, 12 hours of supplies. Another requirement was that the setup should be as light as possible but still strong. I didn't plan on carrying panniers, so capacity wasn't a big issue either. As always, I did my research, looked at reviews, and I came up with the Tortec Ultralight rear rack. Amazingly, this rack could still handle 25 kilos but only weighed 560 grams. All of the required bolts were supplied with the kit, and it's universal enough to fit both of the bikes I have that have the fittings for a rear rack. I was a little confused in my research because there were two distinct types of rack, one for standard brakes and one for disc brakes. I quickly realised that the need for a disc brake rack was to allow the frame to clear the calipers on the bike. However, both the bikes I wanted to fit the rack to had inboard calipers, so I realised this wouldn't be a problem. You can see at the top of this shot the adjustment for the seat stay fittings. They adjust laterally and fore and aft, plus you can spin them over so that if your frame has inside fittings, it'll also accommodate those. The top of the rack is open, so you'll have to make sure that whatever you put on top of the rack has a solid base. And there's even a very handy fitting on the back to take an LED light. For my first long trip, I decided to try fitting a rucksack to the carrier. Not one of my best ideas, because I spent the next 130 miles having to keep adjusting it because I really couldn't fit it on securely enough. So it was clearly time to look for purpose-made bags. Of course, if you're smart enough, you can adapt everyday items to carry things on your bike. And here we see an example of one of our regular riders, Mary Contrary, who likes to ride with her little dog Pippin. And I think you'll agree that Pippin has the best seat in the house. Unfortunately, I'm not this smart, so I needed to go for something more traditional and purpose-built. So it was back to the research, and I eventually came up with the Carradice Caradura rack bag. Knowing that Carradice makes some of the best bags in the industry, I was pleasantly surprised to find this bag came in at under £40. The inside of the bag is well padded, so there's plenty of protection for valuable items such as cameras, that sort of thing. There's a nice little flat pocket inside that I keep my money in. And then you'll see on the back there is a zip-up pocket, and that's plenty big enough to keep a full-size mobile phone in. And the material of this pocket's thick enough to provide protection. The bag has an internal capacity of 10 litres, but can be quickly turned into 13.5 litres by just opening this zip. There's even extra storage on top of the bag for things like waterproofs and those items that you want quickly to hand. And there's even a full waterproof Hi-Vis cover supplied, and that has reflective detailing on the back. The base is solid, and you can see there's rubber protectors there for when you're putting the bag down with the carry strap on. And you can also see in the centre the strap that goes under the carrier to secure it. And this is where I had one criticism, and that is that the loose end of that strap didn't have anything to secure it, so it would fall down onto the tyre. So I just put that rubber band on to keep it in place. There's absolutely no problem securing this bag. There are 4 strong webbing straps that fit at each corner. Connect the strap underneath and job done. That makes it very, very easy to remove that bag if you want to take it away from the bike for security. And you can clearly see in this shot the silver reflective panels that go all the way around the bag. And this is where things get really clever. Undo this zip, pocket folds down into a mini pannier. Lots and lots of room in there. I've carried water bottles, and the beauty of these is that when you've finished with the panniers, you can just fold them up and reduce any drag that they may cause. Although I'm not showing it in this shot, the pannier is actually secured at the bottom by a bungee that fits down onto the frame. And even if you don't use the mini pannier, there's still useful room in that pocket. And finally, it comes with its very own carry strap, so you can carry it off to your overnight accommodation and keep it secure. This is the Ribble loaded up when I did the 100-mile range extender test ride. I had everything I needed for the day, including a foldable tyre, and I didn't even need to use the panniers. And here I've swapped everything over onto the Tri-Ban RS 520 for the 150-mile ride. Well, I hope you found that useful, and thanks for watching. I've got quite a few ideas for some interesting videos coming up, so if you'd like to be informed when they appear, please hit the bell button and subscribe. And also, if you could hit the thumbs up like button, I'd much appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, a bientôt.